Today I'm going to talk on threefold training and development of three mindfulness skills explained by Buddha. Our Lord Buddha taught the noble teachings of the Dhamma for 45 years on many occasions regarding many topics: spiritual development, moral development, intellectual development, and also social development, including some complex issues that fascinate human mind, such as Buddhist theology, even Genesis, regarding the world, how the world emerged and how the world destroyed, how the world again re-emerged, etc. And all his teachings are broad and wide because his wisdom is deep beyond measure. Unfathomable depth of the Buddha's teaching can be seen and witnessed only by a person who is well-versed and expert in Pali language and Buddhist texts. Translation alone is not enough because Pali words are sometimes very tricky to translate into simple English. For example, most of you are quite familiar with three terms: anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Many interpret anicca as impermanent, dukkha as suffering, anatta, no soul, no self. They don't reflect the actual meaning of the Pali words in complete detail, because the term nature, according to definitions in Buddhist text, is something which arises and then subject to passing away. In Pali, let me quote what it said: Hodwa abhavatina anicca. It is a nature because having arisen, it disappears. That's why it's called anicca. Regarding the term dukkha, many trying to translate as suffering, but that interpretation is not sufficient because it has a wider connotations. The term dukkha, according to definition in Buddhist text, is very simple. To quote Pali, Obada vaya pripilnatina dukkha. It is dukkha because it is always torture and chained by constant process of arising and passing. So in this sense, dukkha can mean many things, not only our body and our very existence, all those living beings, also non-living beings, including the world we live in. Everything is subject to rising and passing. Everything which is being conditioned by the constant rising and passing can be defined as dukkha. So, to give the proper and complete definition of the dukkha is quite tricky. Suffering alone is not enough translation. In the same way, regarding the term anatta, Buddhist texts are very simple and clear. To quote what is said in the text, awasa wudnatena anatta. It is anatta because it doesn't happen according to one's wish and one's manipulation. Means not. Wasa means wish or power or manipulation. Wudna means something which happens. Something which doesn't happen according to one's own wish and one's own power and manipulated power. So it means something that takes its own course. It's anatta. So according to this definition and explanation, found in Buddhist text, no soul, no self is not a complete translation. I'm saying this because Buddha's teaching regarding spiritual development is full of wonderful Pali words. Among such words, there are quite interesting words used in Buddhist text, such as samadhi nimitta, animetta ceto samadhi, vimokha, and ambibhayana. So far, I haven't found any proper interpretation which reflect the meaning of those Pali words. So I have to try the best and simple expression of the language so that Buddha's meaning, Buddha's teaching can be reflected properly and appropriately. Today I'm going to talk about threefold training. Development of virtues, moral virtue versus extraordinary moral virtues. Developing of the mind and versus advanced extraordinary mind. Development of wisdom versus extraordinary and special wisdom. Of Buddha's teaching, which he taught 45 years, it can be summarized only in 3 words. Sometimes Buddha used to refer as 1 word. So all of the Buddhist teaching, even though they are numerous and recorded in thick volumes of Buddhist texts, can be summarized in 3 words. What are those 3 words? The first word is called the sila, moral virtues, virtuous character of a person. And the second one is called samadhi. Samadhi is most people translate it it as a concentration. It is mental integrity, characterized by a stable mind and strong mind, pure mind. And the third word is called the panya, wisdom. So these three words are the major purpose of Buddha's teaching. All his teachings aim at developing moral virtues and mental power, known as concentration, and wisdom. By means of moral development, emphasis on moral development. Buddha's teachings are wholesome in the beginning, with emphasis on development of samadhi, concentration, mental calm and mental peace and mental stability. His teachings are wholesome in the middle, with emphasis on development of wisdom. Buddha's teachings are wholesome in the end. So Buddha's teachings are wholesome and beneficial and blessed in all phases. In the beginning phase of his teaching, and the middle phase of his teaching, and the final phase of his teaching. Also, for the practitioner of the Dhamma, if a person sincerely follows his teaching, he will develop moral virtues, thus transform himself into a pious and virtuous person. He will develop himself, especially his mind, into a stable, peaceful mind, so that he live life in peace and joy. If a person follows Buddha's teaching, practice as instructed, he will transform into a very wonderful wise man, whose wisdom will be ready to face all good and bad situations of life. By means of the wisdom, he will be able to live through all situations of life without feeling too much suffering, too much mental pain. These are brief explanations of Buddha's teaching. So you have to know that Buddha's teaching, even though numerously recorded in Buddhist texts under various suttas on various topics, can be summarized onto three major words, because they are very important objectives of the Buddha's teaching: development of the moral virtues, development of the mental peace and calm, characterized by concentration, development of wisdom, characterized by penetrating into true natures of things, and thus having a liberated intellect and liberated knowledge, which is not peddled and not chained by ego and defilements. How wonderful it is to learn that Buddha's teachings are very simple and only three and short: moral virtues and mental calm and peace, stability, and wisdom. In today's discourse, Buddha explained about those kind of threefold training. Now let me refer to what Buddha has said in the discourse more than 3,000 years ago. Saita ima bhikkhve sikha. Disciples, there are three trainings to be trained by you. Kadama so. What are those three trainings? Adi sila sikha. Training for development of the moral virtues and extraordinary moral virtues. Adijeta Sikha. Training for development of extraordinary consciousness and extraordinary mind. Adibhinya Sikha. Training for development of extraordinary wisdom. Buddha continued to explain the fast training. Katamaja Bhikkhve Adi Sila Sikha. Disciples, what is Adi Sila Sikha? Training for development of the special moral virtues. Ida Bhikkhve Bhikkhu Sila wa Hodi Pasi Mokha Samra Samdo Huirindi Anumati Du Wujidu Byadadawi Samadaya Sikadi Sikha Barisu. Here in this world, the disciple trying to maintain moral precepts. If he is a layman, he trying to maintain basic standard of moral precepts, such as 5 moral precepts in daily life. Occasionally, on Saturday days of the Buddhist Ubosita, known as the Sabbath day, he observed 8 precepts. If he is a monk, he maintained Patimokkha Samvara Sila, those 227 monastic codes. Achara Gochara Sampano, he always maintained good physical and bhava conduct. He always keep the mind guarded from unwholesome mental states. Anumadesu Ujedu Bhayadasawi. A disciple always have the right understanding to refrain even small amount of wrongdoings. Samadaya Sekti Sekhabridu. Once a disciple made commitment to observe the precepts, he trying to keep those precepts unbroken and pure. Ayam Vojti Bhikkhve Adi Sila Sikha. Disciple, this is a training for development of moral virtues and extra moral virtues. As I have explained in this translation, layman's precepts, layman's moral virtues are also included. In this case, a layman's moral virtues may be a little bit lower if compared to monastic precepts, but they serve the same purpose. They can lead to the same benefits of developing joy, developing guilt-free, remorse-free mind, and developing concentration and in mental calm if he practice meditation. And unbroken moral precepts which a disciple observe can lead to development of further progress on the spiritual path. What is important for a layman in observing his precept is that the main objective and purpose is to attain up to the Nibbana, path and fruition knowledge and Nibbana. He must have this kind of purpose and objective in the mind when he is observing the moral precepts. Normally, if a person can maintain moral precepts, basically, all the other worldly happiness and privilege are easy to get, such as being reborn in the heaven, being reborn back into human life, and being reborn with good conditions into good social environments and good families. These are very easy and normal consequence if a person can keep moral precepts always. So his intention must be to attain spiritual progress up to the attainment of the path and fruition knowledge and attainment of the cessation of suffering by being able to enter into the Nibbana Dhatut. This itself will be called Atisila Tsika, training for development of the extraordinary moral virtues. If a disciple is a monk, his moral precepts and observation of the monastic rules and codes will lead to attainment of the path and fruition knowledge on the spiritual path. This briefly is Atisila Seka, training for special moral virtues. Anyone with a sincere faith and commitment can fulfill this training. In this retreat, all meditators have already fulfilled this fast training because they keep 8 precepts unbroken all the time. So this fast training is fulfilled. You have to develop wonderful appreciation and joy for your ability to observe this precept and this fast noble training set by the Buddha. Now the second training. Katamaja Bhikkhve Adi Chaita Sikha. What disciple is the training for development of the extraordinary special mind? Buddha explained. Ida Bhikkhve Bhikkhu Uvejiva Kami Which are good to me, Sawis the can Shawichara. We wake jam be Sukan, Patamanjana, Ubasam Bija, we heard. Here in this world, a disciple, having removed himself from physical pleasures, having removed himself from mental hindrance and obstacle, mental unwholesome states, the mind develop to a sustained state of concentration and mindfulness, where he can remain in peace and calm by entering into the first state of the advanced consciousness known as jhana. Vidaga vijarana ubadama. Avidaga avijara ijadan samdana chidado egodi wawan dudi anjana uba sambhija vid. He further proceed to second jhana, where there is no more wandering thoughts, where there is no more subsequent thoughts, which is clean, clear and joyous, which is generated by the first jhana concentration. It means that when a person enters into second jhana, wandering thoughts, initial thoughts, and subsequent thoughts cease to appear. We may not achieve that state far, but we don't have to disappoint it. So to explain what Buddha said, Buddha usually explain in this discourse about the four jhanas. This may seem a bit out of reach for ordinary meditator, but we don't need to disappoint. Why? I want to explain you. The first process is ordinary mind. Ordinary mind is known as the citta. And the second mind, next advanced degree of the mind is called the adhicitta, special mind, special consciousness. Most meditators are referred to in Buddhist text as manobhavaniya. Manobhavaniya means mental developer. All the meditators are referred to as mental developer who are trying to develop their mind, their consciousness. Sometimes it is referred to as a adhicitta manuyoso bhikkhu, a disciple who is trying to develop extraordinary consciousness. Normal consciousness, we already have this one, which is very much restless, wandering, complaining, protesting, and wishing this and that, craving and holding on to this and that, thinking this and that aimlessly. It's like a wandering clouds where there is no firm ground. If you look at the clouds on the sky, you see clouds and barrier formations. They are not stable because they have no foundation to firmly base. They are located on boundless space where there is no material things. Material things are occupants of the space. In empty space, material things occupy, like the world we live in. The world we live in, we thought this world is very stable, very strong. Actually not. Perhaps some of you may have seen the photos of this planet Earth taken from satellite. You see, our planet is like a ball, a Chinese lantern hanging on the space precariously. Our life also the same thing. Our mind also the same thing. Our mind is also wandering all the time, aimlessly, causing a lot of problems. Mental training is very important process. So, a meditator is referred to Manobhavaniya, mind developer, consciousness developer. Very wonderful term. Used in Buddhist text. You are not yogis. Yogis is just only another Pali word. Yoga means effort. E means the one who has effort, the one who is making effort. But Manobhavaniya is much more relevant and beautiful term, which reflects what you are doing. So mind development is very important training in Buddhist text. By developing one's mind through meditation, the mind slowly changes its normal patterns of being restless and being attached to this and that. Because with mindfulness meditation, the mind becomes calm. The insight knowledge slowly develops. One starts seeing clearly that there's no Rava, there's no June, there's no journey, just only mind and body, constantly arising and passing. And the noting mind is not robots, not journey. And the object being noted is not belonging to journey and not belonging to richer, etc. You will see that very clearly. And this way, you will be no longer sad, no longer angry, if your meditation slowly progress. This is how adhijjhata, special consciousness, happens. Even though Buddha explained in this discourse, adhijjhata as development of the 4 jhanas. Don't be disappointed. Buddha just only explained the highest level of the consciousness in this case. Even that explanation is not complete, because Buddha has explained in many discourses to cover all the extraordinary consciousness. In those other discourses, Buddha mentioned path and fruition knowledge, the mind of a progressive meditator, and the mind of enlightened saints who have attained up to the 4th stage of enlightenment are called adhijjhata. In order to clarify this, I would like to quote what is said in Buddhist texts and Buddhist commentaries. First of all, vipassana citta, the mind which is being developed through insight meditation, is called adhijjhata, special mind. You are already having this kind of special consciousness and special mind, even though it is not in the jhana state. So development of the special consciousness can be acquired through practice of vipassana meditation. This is what we all need to understand. Once we understand this, then our practice will be more inspiring and more relevant to what Buddha has said in Buddhist texts. This special consciousness is the pathway to liberation of the mind, the pathway to attain liberations of the mind and liberation of the intellect. When we are developing this special consciousness, we need to understand many skills and techniques set by Buddha himself. That's what I am going to talk about today. Not only threefold training. It's called the development of the three skills. Now let me explain what Buddha has said. Adijita manuyodena bhikkhve bhikkhuna tini nimiddani kalina kala manasika dabbani. Disciple here in the world, a meditator who is trying to develop special consciousness should perform three kinds of skill from time to time as necessary. To simplify this, it means that a meditator occasionally applying three skills during his meditation for development of the special consciousness. It's very simple. That's what Buddha has said. The first skill, the first test he has to do is Kalina Kalan Samadhi Nimeda Manasi Gadapa. The meditator should focus on the object of meditation so that concentration develops. This is the first skill Buddha mentioned. Kalina Kalam Pekha Nimeda Manasi Gadapa. Sometimes, depending on the conditions, a meditator should apply inspiration and supporting of the mind. Kalina Kalam Ubekha Nimeda Manasi Gadapa. Occasionally, a meditator should apply the balancing, relax act of practice to his meditation practice. So altogether, three skills mentioned by the Buddha. The first skill is development skill. By keeping the mind focused on meditation object or on meditation generally. And the second skill is supportive skill. In case the mind becomes sluggish and slacking. And the third skill is relaxed skill, balancing skill. These instructions are very important. Most meditators, including myself, thought that a meditator should continuously strive and make ardent effort in practicing meditation. But Buddha is very skillful and far-sighted. He knows the conditions of consciousness. Consciousness or the mind is not always smooth, not always accepted. Sometimes it is slow and slacking. Sometimes it lacks interest in the practice, sometimes it will resist. It will wander off. And sometimes it will even want to stop to practice. So there are various conditions, like the way we drive the car. Driving the car is okay, but there are other conditions, traffic condition, weather, the driver's health, and the conditions of the car. All these factors need to be taken into account. Only when supportive factors are conducive, and then driving will be smooth and progressive. In the same way, in meditation, a meditator's mind is main important thing. Also, his physical health condition are another factor, and also the surrounding social environment is also very important. That's why in meditation center, it is strictly imposed the rule of the no silence, the rule of no visitors, no talking. Because by having this kind of the strict rules and regulation, it will be a good supportive environment to remain calm and focus on one's practice without distraction. A person's health is also very important. During meditation, if a yogi, a mind developer, has certain physical condition, he will not be able to focus on the practice unless he is a very strong, he has been a strong, committed meditator who have developed mindfulness key all those long years. For those who have a very strong experience in mindfulness practice, regardless of the health condition, they can remain unagitated. They may remain unagitated. It's a very wonderful benefit of the mindfulness meditation. I see a lot of the suffering people because they don't practice meditation. They have never experienced, they have never knowledge of meditation. Even yesterday, I had a call from New York, from a devotee who is only 50 years old. Her younger sister, who is about only 41, is diagnosed with the cancer, stage 4 cancer. She is now devastated. She doesn't know what to do. I have such an experience with the people who are suffering from terminal illness. One incident is very notable. She is also a lady, about 57 years old, still having had good times with a hard, well-paid job and good family. She was diagnosed with the cancer. And for the first 3 weeks, she's crying nonstop. She doesn't know what to do. The doctors told her, prospects are not good. Only maybe 6 or 8 months at the most, she's going to be alive. She doesn't know what to do. So she just crying, feeling sad. Even though her husband comfort her, she doesn't find peace and relief. But later on, she decided to practice meditation very, very seriously and very urgently. She came to practice meditation while I was in Singapore, and she became a very committed meditator. Most of the time, she meditates, except when she is doing important compulsory routines. She even stopped telephone. Stop answering telephone. She no longer use telephone except with an important family member. She gave away all her possession, and she decided to face the death peacefully and courageously. And she practiced meditation very wonderfully. Doctor's prognosis of 6 months became 6 years. She lived 6 years without feeling sadness or grief, without feeling pain. She faced until final hours, everything, all the physical suffering, peacefully and courageously through mindfulness. This is one incident. The other incident also the same thing. While I was in Singapore, a lady about the same years of age, she has already cancer. She has been taking medication, but her cancer is come back. Cells grow back, even though she's taking medicine. So she has to take another treatment. This time she called us, crying on the phone. I told her, just seek help and relief through the meditation. She's not interested. She just only plead with me, what can I help? Because her son is still in college and not finishing yet. She doesn't want to die. So I just repeat my encouragement to come and practice meditation with the dedication and seriousness. She ignored. She died within 1 year. So meditation is very wonderful in many ways. These are practical experience I have seen with my eye. How special consciousness, how this special consciousness training, developing of special consciousness training is very wonderful training. It's not about attaining of jhana, as explained in this course. It is about development of the special mind, which is resilience, strong, and unshakable by bad bodily condition and social conditions. How wonderful it is. Your practice of Vipassana meditation can immunize or can give some power of strong immunity against mental suffering. It helps you. It helps us to be able to cope with physical suffering also, even though we may not be able to overcome physical suffering completely, because Buddha himself, all enlightened themselves, included, as long as they have the body, they have to live through physical pain and physical suffering, but they no longer suffer mentally. This is how liberation of suffering can be defined and explained in a more simple way. This discourse, which Buddha mentioned about development of three skills, is very detailed and needs a lot of explanation. We may have to continue to explain this. So let me go back to the development of the third training, Adipinya Sikha. Buddha said, Katamaja Bhikkhve Adipinya Sikha. What is the training for development of the special wisdom? Ida Bhikkhve Bhikkhu Idam Dokkhandi Yatha Bhutam Bhajanati. Here in this world, a meditator clearly knows that this mental and physical phenomena is just dukkha. He knows dukkha as it is. You already understand. Every moment of your mindfulness, you see rising and falling of abdomen, or in-breath or out-breath, or wandering thoughts, or the hearing sound. They are not stable. They don't last even for a fraction of a second. They just come and pass. They just arise and pass very quickly. This clearly shows is that nothing is stable. There's no way for you to hold on to. Even though we're trying to hold on to our thoughts, our pains. This is my pain. I'm suffering so much. I have an itching sensation in my neck, etc. They're trying to identify. I have wandering thoughts. My mind is wandering back and forth to my home and to my families and to my work, etc. Because we're trying to hold on to our thoughts as our own. Once you can relax, you are whole to those wandering thoughts and pain. As nobody is pain, nobody is wandering thoughts, just only wandering thoughts, just only insignificant mental states and insignificant pain that nag you all the time. Then you will be able to ignore. Once you are able to ignore with the impersonal mindfulness, and you will be able to let go of it. Being able to let go is very important training, which we all need to develop. This is what Adipanya means. By continual and consistent mindfulness, that wonderful ability of the mind to see things as they truly are will develop. This is called what Adipanya means. This is called a special wisdom. And Buddha continued to explain, Ayan dukkha samudyoti yatha buddham bhajanati. This is the cause of the dukkha. The cause of dukkha is the attachment. Attachment to our pain as me and my pain. Attachment to our thoughts. I'm in thinking. I'm in planning. I wish this and that. I'm in theorizing and I'm in just complaining, etc. This attachment is also the cause of unnecessary suffering. Buddha instructs us to know this as the cause, this attachment as the main culprit of unnecessary suffering. Ayan dukkha nirodoti itha buddham bhajanati. This detachment, this letting go, is the cessation of suffering. Very simple. The moment you are able to let go, the moment you are able to remove that attachment, unnecessary suffering will stop. Ayan dukkha nirodha gamini ptividhati itha buddham bhajanati. This is the pathway to cessation of suffering, to stopping of suffering. Thus a meditator knows truthfully. So what's that? What's that? The pathway to stop suffering, to end suffering. It's your practice. The practice you are doing, the precept you are taking, the mindfulness you are having. All these are the paths, the noble paths. They are not to be found in Buddhist texts. They are to be found in your mind, in your consciousness, in your five aggregates. It's very wonderful. Even myself, before I practiced meditation, thought that the Noble Eightfold Paths are to be found in Buddhist texts. Actually not. They are to be developed within ourselves, based on our five aggregates, by using our mind. In this case, not ordinary mind, just only mindfulness mind, special mind. You transform your mind into special mind. To purify the mind's pollutants, you use the mind. In this case, the mind is not ordinary mind. In this case, the water is not ordinary water, pure mind, known as the mindfulness or satipatthana or sati. Ayan wojti bhikkhve adipanya sikha. Disciple, this is what's called training for development of the special wisdom. Now let me explain a little bit more so that you can be inspired. This Adipanya is explained in Buddhist text. Now let me go. What is it said in the text? Vipassana Padiga Tilakana Brigahika Panya Adipanya. The knowledge which can clearly and distinctively see three inherent characteristics which comes through the foundations of Vipassana meditation is called Adipanya. Now let me simplify further. The insight knowledge which a meditator can develop in the course of mindfulness meditation is called Adipanya, special wisdom. Because by means of developing that special insight knowledge, the mind start clearly and distinctively seeing the inherent natures of all the mental phenomena and physical phenomena as a nature, something which has arisen and just passed away immediately. Dukkha, something which is always characterized by arising and passing. Anatta, which happens its own accord, not according to one's own manipulation, not according to one's own wish. This is very clearly understandable, especially when you are dealing with the pain. Nobody wants the pain. Nobody has the power to command, go away. I don't want you. This is my own body. You have no right to be here. You cannot see the pain like this. The pain will arise in the body because it is a part of the body, a part of our very existence. As long as there's the body, and pains will arise and will disappear. And sometimes in case of the chronic pains and chronic illness, they will be there for long. It is very important to have this mindful training, mindful practice training, so that one will be able to cope with the pain, to handle the pain, to handle all the mental emotion. This is how Adipanya, developing all the special wisdom, can help you, can benefit you a lot in many ways. Buddha's teachings are very much realistic and based on practicality and result-oriented. That's why Buddha's teachings are always referred to as Vipaccawara, teaching of analysis, not teaching based on faith and speculation. If you follow Buddha's teaching, you will be able to develop your moral virtues easily and your consciousness. Ordinary consciousness you have is very problematic, which causes a lot of suffering, a lot of problems in daily life, not only for oneself, but also for other people as well. Development of special consciousness can be done through samatha meditation and vipassana meditation. Please know that and remind yourself, development of the special consciousness is to be done by practice of meditation. not by having faith in Buddha alone. Now the development of the special wisdom also to be acquired, to be developed through mindfulness meditation, vipassana meditation. In this discourse, Buddha only simply and briefly explained what is adhipinya. According to this discourse, adhipinya is the knowledge to see the truth, Four Noble Truths. These Four Noble Truths are not in Buddhist texts. They are in our body, to discover in our body. If we practice vipassana meditation, the Noble Truths will be unfolded. They will unfold themselves when insight knowledge develops. Development of insight knowledge is not to expect. It is to be practiced continuously. In practice of meditation, we need to maintain uninterrupted mindfulness. If our mindfulness and our noting is uninterrupted and consistent, the mindfulness will become very strong, and other necessary factor will develop slowly. Then, full premium of these threefold training will be achieved. May all of you be able to fulfill these threefold training, development of the moral virtues, development of the special extraordinary consciousness, development of the special wisdom in your lifetime. May you be successful in your practice.